Hey guys, so today I want to make a very quick little video here comparing the LG Optimus G smartphone versus the Samsung Galaxy S3. So this will be cool, this will be interesting, I think personally, because these phones are coming down now to at around the same kind of price range. So if we check out the price by app here, we do have first the Samsung Galaxy S3 here on the right side, and you can see that it costs around 300 to 425 pounds, while you can get the LG Optimus G for around 344 to 519 pounds. They are in around the same price range, depending on, of course, where you buy the product. And as I said, this is not the normal international Galaxy S3. This is the 4G LTE edition of Galaxy S3. So with your carrier, you will get faster speeds if they do support that. And the Optimus G here is, of course, also a 4G smartphone. So that is very nice. So let's start off here by taking a look at the design aspect. Now, first of all, on the front side here, you can see the first difference here is that you get a real hardware button down here on the Samsung Galaxy S3, and then you get two capacitive touch buttons, while you get like three capacitive touch buttons here on the LG Optimus G. You get almost the same screen size on both these two devices. You get a little bit bigger on the Galaxy S3, 4.8 inch versus 4.7 inch here. Both have 720p or 720p resolution. They both have the branding up there in the top, and other than that, the difference here is definitely that the S3 is more rounded off, and also the S3 feels more plastic. It's more rounded off on the side, so it actually, even though it's a little bit bigger here, it actually feels a little bit more comfortable to hold personally for me, even though the Optimus G also feels very good with the round, a little bit small and a little bit rounded off design here also. And definitely the Optimus G has more of that kind of exclusive feeling because it comes with like a glass back, same as kind of like with the Nexus 4, while of course the Samsung Galaxy S3 do come in a plastic back, removable back, of course, but still it's a little bit more of a plasticky feeling. So in terms of quality, right there, what would feel better. Also in terms of weight, I definitely do believe that the Optimus G here clearly is the winner in that area. So if you take a look here, both on the right side you do have the power button, and on the left side you do have volume up and down keys. If we move to the back side here, you can see that you get a 8 megapixel mid camera here on the S3, while you get the 30 megapixel camera here on the Optimus G. Now personally, when I tried out the cameras, I don't really see that much 30 megapixel quality from the Optimus G, but of course I'm no camera expert, but it seems like it performs maybe a little bit better than your standard 8 megapixel camera, or maybe even worse. But that could also be a biased opinion there, because I'm no camera expert. You have a stereo speaker also on the back on both these two smartphones, of course. So if we start off now talking a little bit about the specs, one thing that I do like more here definitely with the S3 is that if I would, let's say, drop the device, I wouldn't be as scared as I would if I would drop the Optimus G smartphone, because if I would drop the Optimus G, I would be scared, at least if I didn't have a case, that the back would like shatter or anything, or maybe the front side would shatter. Overall, it seems like if I would drop this device, I'm not that scared of it, just because it is a plastic device. So of course that is definitely something that you might want to consider, but if you will get a case, of course, then it might be a different little thing there. So if we start off here with the display, of course we get the Super AMOLED screen here on the S3. What we do get on the Optimus G, we get this True HD IPS Plus display, which is better than the display that you got on the Optimus 4X HD, because it has a plus there on the end. I definitely do believe that these you know, these both screens look super amazing. Both are super vibrant, and they are very, very similar. Now in the viewing angles here, maybe the S3 is a little bit better on camera, but in real life I don't really see a major difference here. Both have an amazing display, and I don't think that you will be complaining on either side. And you know, both also kind of have Gorilla Glass 2 protection on the front side. So I've been doing a lot of Gorilla Glass protection or Gorilla Glass testing on the S3, you know, hitting it with hammers and stuff, and it still, you know, it still works. So of course that is something that is pretty nice to know, that you probably will be able to do the same thing here with Optimus G, because it also had that Gorilla Glass 2 protection. So in terms of storage, you get 32 gigabytes of internal storage on the Optimus G. The Optimus G has a lot of similarities to the Nexus 4 because it's also from LG. And the one thing that's better with Optimus G is, of course, that it has 32 gigabytes of internal storage instead of like 16 gigabyte or 8 gigabyte variant that you will get on the Nexus 4. Of course, you don't have an SD card option, so they need to have a little bit bigger size there. While, of course, the S3 is available in 16, 32, and like 64 gigabyte variants, plus the SD card option on the back if you remove the back side. So also these phones comes with both 2 gigabytes of memory, so you won't have any problems whatsoever in terms of performance. And also, you know, of course, we had Samsung's own Exynos on the S3 that kind of like Samsung is moving a little bit away from, it seems, with the new S4. But performance is, of course, very, very good. You both have quad-core on both these two devices, but you get the Qualcomm chipsets here instead of Exynos chipset in the Optimus G here. And both are quad-core, and on the S3 it's clocked at 1.4 GHz, while it's clocked at 1.5 GHz on the Optimus G. Now remember, this Optimus G is kind of better here because it's based on Crate, quad-core Crate, clocked at 1.5 GHz, and while the Galaxy 3 is, of course, based on the old Cortex A9 architecture. Also, if you look at the GPU here, you get the Adreno 320 GPU inside of the Optimus G, which is a very, very new GPU, and it's extremely snappy, especially in game-off games. While you get the old Mali 400, which has a very, very big range of supporters, because this is one of the most sold Android smartphones ever. So it's still a very, very popular GPU. So, if we're gonna talk specs, the Adreno 320 and the quad-core CPU inside of the Optimus G is more powerful here on the Optimus G. Also, in terms of quality feel here, you know, in weight, I definitely also do believe that the Optimus G feels a little bit more cool, and I'm kind of surprised with how amazing phone it feels like compared to the 4X HD. Definitely one of the best things that LG did update was that it's easier now to hit the power button and volume up and down keys. And it's a very, very nice experience there. You did see that cool little thing here with the bubble. You also get the latest version of Android, of course, on both these two devices, Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, so no problems whatsoever. Also, in terms of battery, they're also very, very much the same over there, because you do get 2100 milliamp on both these two smartphones. So, of course, that is pretty cool. So, if you take a look at some quick, you know, testing of the browser here on both these two devices. So, take a quick little look here. So, of course, I'm connected to my Wi-Fi network here. So, if you type in something, I kind of like that you get like a vibration effect on the S3 when you type in here. So if you just load up a page here, something I can see first of all with the display, let's see here, Samsung extends smartphone lead in Q1, okay. LG climbs to third, so you can see here that LG, they are also in terms of, you know, they're selling more smartphones right now, so they're doing very, very good right now, and that could be because of the Nexus 4 and the Optimus G. But one thing that I can see here that is better With the Optimus G here, definitely is that white, the color white looks better on the True HD IPS display. Looks more white, you know. It could be probably a little bit hard to see inside of this video, but I can definitely see that. So also, of course, in terms of reading, probably the Optimus G's True HD IPS will look better because white looks more white, and when you're reading, you will have a lot of white. So of course, going in and out on both these two phones are pretty much the same. And one thing that could be bad with the Optimus G is of course that the camera is located on the left side here, so when you use the device here, it might move around a little bit, while it's located in the middle here on the S3. It might be a little bit of a smaller problem there when you have the device on a table or a flat surface. I've also been hearing some complaints with the Optimus G that you can actually, that some people have scratched this or it gets dirty sometimes, so you might want to use a case. So if you continue on here, check out some other cool things. So if you check out the camera app here a little bit quick, you of course, as I said earlier, you get this 8 megapixel camera, of course, on the S3. Nothing special. It focuses quick, and you can easily change to video mode, and it has some built-in effects. I love the burst mode on it, that it could take like at least 6 or like 10 pictures in just a few seconds or something, or it could be a ton more, but it's a good, nice camera there. So if we now check out the camera here on the Optimus G, first of all, the UI is a little bit more laggy here, which is a little bit annoying if you ask me, and the screen doesn't look as vibrant, and overall, you know, and also that it is a 30 megapixel camera, it's a little bit slower there, it seems like, on the Optimus G. So overall I would say that Samsung has made a better job here, but that's of course a very, very quick look at that. If you take a look at also some gaming, of course, both these two phones can actually run the latest games pretty easily right now. But of course you will get some better gaming performance here on the Optimus G because it is newer. Even though that this game, Asphalt 7, could actually run a little bit better here on the Adreno 320 GPU. But you don't have any major problems, of course, and you shouldn't have that for kind of like an expensive smartphone right now. Also, it feels very, very nice to hold Optimus G because it has big, large sides to hold the smartphone. And of course, as you all been familiar to, the S3 has, of course, major support for both the CPU and the GPU right now from a lot of the different game developers out there, so you shouldn't have any big problems whatsoever playing games and stuff. But it could actually probably take a little bit longer here to load up menus and stuff because the CPU, of course, ain't as awesome. So if you skip here, just play the same here a little bit. Feels like, let's see here, it's a little bit laggy here in the beginning, but once you get in the game, it's not that bad actually. But it definitely seemed like the Adreno 320 GPU do perform a little bit better here in the Asphalt 7 game. And it should. We will do a quick little benchmarking look here pretty soon. Also, in terms of reading, of course, as I've been saying earlier, you know, white do look better here on the white looks so much better when you're reading on the Optimus G's True HD IPS Plus display, and I really can feel why they did have that name True HD, because it looks more white. It kind of looks a little bit more yellowish, the Alice S3's display here, when you compare them like this side by side. So that is something that you definitely want to consider. Something also that you might want to know, it could be a small little thing for you, but I kind of like the hardware button in the middle on phones, because if I turn off the display, I can wake the phone up from the front side. I can't do that with the Optimus G, but I can do that with the S3, and that's a like nice little feature that I actually do like a lot. That I don't have to use like hold the phone like this just to unlock it. It's pretty nice, I think. So if we now also do a quick gaming or a benchmark test with latest benchmarking program called 3D Mark. Let's do that. And let's rerun the score here. And I mean, like now in this app, I did see that the AMOLED screen is probably a little bit more vibrant still than the True HD IPS display, but some people might want to have that True HD feeling a little bit more. So this will take a while. So I'm just going to let it run here. Oops. It won't run for that much longer, of course. There we go. Maybe one final test here on the Optimus G. And this is kind of like a heavy benchmark program as well, because it's new and fresh, and even newer smartphones could have a little bit of a problem with it. But it is from the guys that did have the most popular benchmarking program for Windows and maybe even Mac. There we go, getting scored here on the Optimus G. And we got a pretty similar score to what we got the first time. So we got a score here of 7,500 versus the Samsung Galaxy S3's score of 2,700. So it pretty much crushed the S3 here in terms of CPU core, you know, the CPU, the GPU and all that. So pretty cool to know that for the price you will pay for the Optimus G, it's extremely affordable device right now. So I will leave a link in description if you want to check it out a little bit more, maybe buy it. But yeah, we'll see about that. Until next time, you just have an awesome day. And I would say that, like, if I would buy a phone right now, I still probably would buy the Galaxy S3 over the Optimus G, because that Samsung has been producing smartphones for a time now, and they've been in the top right now. So, but if LG keeps doing what they're doing right now, and they will gain their trust back, and people start using their devices more. I can also say that the screen here on the S3 is a little bit more brighter, so maybe something that you want to take a look at. Also, the camera didn't actually look that good for me, but it could actually be a good camera maybe if it's worth to review it. The True HD IPS display is of course good for reading, and I do a lot of reading with the Kindle app actually, and also just regular web browsing. Me personally, also I do like the TouchWiz more here on the S3. But of course I've been using TouchWiz more, so that may not be a fair comparison, you know. So please let me know what you want to see here in upcoming videos and stuff, and I might do a video about it. So until next time, just have an awesome day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Yeah, peace.